You're welcome. This video is part 2 of my response breakdown of the debate between Kevin Murdaugh, pictured here, and Mark Dubose. And again, title speaks volumes here. He did a show of a debate with Mark Dubose about my effed up dog. Now, without doubt, his dog is messed up. Okay, but so is he. Okay, when it comes to what the statements he's making, how he's trying to market his approach. And again, very interesting that all suddenly, right, he starts making excuses. He's making all these statements because again, he's in the trap. That's why I call it series. There's no way out, and there's no way out because again, when I line it up, again he lined it up himself through the leash method. You see it. It's right there. There's nowhere to run. You make all the excuses are starting. Notice that? It's very interesting, right? Suddenly he's admitting all these issues with his dog. And didn't hear that before, right? But the same can be hold true of someone like Robert Hines, off leash. That's why I kept talking about this whole thing about off leash. Things can appear a certain way and not be, right? But how can you tell? How's the truth revealed? You can apply this to any dog in situation, relationship, with again the things I talk about, lined up properly. Dog understanding intent. Influence and control, bring it to the level of a demand within the parameters of what's reasonable. And the dog's level of agreeableness or disagreeableness, right? Then line it up with all the other problems in the relationship, which he now admits to, he's admitting to them. Has to. There's no way out. It's just like that movie, it's called No Way Out. It's like with Kevin Costner. It was way back when like Kevin Costner was like, he was the spy, right? In the, in the military, and, the Russian spy, and they had a photo that was just slowly starting to fade in the background of the movie in the room, and Costner knew, right? You could just start to see that image becoming clearer and clearer. He knew he was going to get exposed, and he's doing everything. He's running around trying to. This is just like that. It's like that image, right? Appearances, real from the fake. Like the real picture is now starting to. Right? You're seeing the real picture now. You saw that through the leash method. That's the real. That's the picture I'm talking about. He did it to him. He did it to himself. But interesting how he could have done that from the beginning, right? There was nothing, no reason why he couldn't or he shouldn't, right? He's been going for weeks trying to get cheap shots with me and everything. And I was like, this is the way to tell. He didn't want to do it. He did it because Dubose put him in a corner here, and he was cocky, and he thought, I don't know what he was thinking. But the arrogance always gets you in trouble. That he did it, there it is. There's no way around it. There it is, right there. It's all, now, think about what I'm saying. Now all the excuses, right? Didn't hear those before, because that's the thing. Like once that image, right, there's nowhere to run. It's like, there it is. What are you going to do? You can't do anything. The same would happen to Robert Hines if he did the same. So I'm not playing any side here at all. Monty, right, looks great off leash. Think about what I'm saying. Monty looks great off leash, but then he admitted Monty has all these problems with reactivity. Monty's a mess. Let's see the same, same test applied. Let's see what happens. Take Monty down near an area with another dog nearby. It's interesting too, because Murdaugh in his videos, right? You see how he moves one way, then he moves another way. See, he was playing the shell game the whole time with people, and people are too naive or stupid, right? Just fall for it, right? Well, there's no way out. There's no way out of it. So let's keep playing. So he can go on all day long about people. He's got nothing to stand on. He's been standing on sand the whole time. So this is how it works. I just said that. That's why I say the question of the century, right? There's no way around it. There's nothing they can do. That's why he's been like trying. But this is the trouble that arrogance gets in all these trainers. This is why the mess of the association. I got the video series running parallel to this one with Larry Crone. Go watch that. Look at the mess. There's no way out. So you want to support these people. You want to follow. I encourage, be your own person, would be my encouragement to be your own person. Follow the way of the truth. That'll never get you in trouble. Don't follow these people. I mean, it's a shim-sham operations, I call it. Just play some more.
So, and again, we can't blame the dog because
I'm not.
you
No.
are aware of the issues.
Are you aware of the issues I had when I got her? That's the
See, Mark calling right here. Don't blame. Trying to blame the dog. Were you aware of the problems that Grey Goose had before he came to me? That doesn't matter about anything, right? I had to cut ties with the rescue organization over that crap, right? Because I felt so bad. I couldn't be involved in something when the dogs were being destroyed. I could not. Broke my heart. I remember being out in my training area with a dog, and during that whole time during that whole thing with this organization, I remember being out there. I was telling someone else, it broke my heart. I broke down in tears. I was by myself with the dog because I knew at that moment that the place I brought that dog, that was it. There was no hope. After that, there was no hope. It was going to be gone. And after that moment, I broke ties. I was so upset because I understood the position that these humans put these dogs in. It's so selfish. I broke ties because I'm like, there's no way I'm going to be involved in an organization that doesn't listen. And see, that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with people. This is a human problem here.
That is the
None of that
foundation of
matters.
everything.
None of that
Yes, it
matters
does.
because every single one of
Yes,
us
it does.
gets a dog that we don't know, and they all have issues from where we got them. Every dog. Every dog. I have yet to
Yeah,
get a dog my own self that did not have what I want to say is like serious issues.
Yeah, the issues. I mean, you get a dog. I mean, you get a relationship problem, already underway. It's ongoing. Nature's great. It's like because through that connection at the social level, he claims to understand the so he doesn't. He's skimming the surface, right? And you can tell through his relationship with Grey Goose. He doesn't understand, the depth of what that connection represents because he can't work through it. He's stalled out. He's not stalled. He just like won't do it. But he wants to pretend to be someone he's not. That's the problem here.
Dogs that are killing animals, dogs that are biting people, dogs that are just absolutely ruthless.
Like I can look at this guy with his face, like how he and say right away. Anyone look at his body language? He's arrogant. Like his mannerisms, how he sits back in the chair, how he just his whole body, like he's just arrogant. I've been around enough people over my lifetime to know. I mean, just instantly, he's arrogant.
They all have issues, but what do we do to overcome those to be able to move on to that next place? That's what I'm
exactly.
trying to be able to get you to understand, that some things you still haven't been able to overcome. I don't care what issues were before.
Based on what standard? I have video the very same day that I met Goose and adopted Goose. You could see she did not want to even follow me on a leash. She wanted to run back to the animal hospital. Her foster owner said, this dog will not walk. Every time I put her on side, she wants to run back
It's in his excuses. Like he wants to try to package this up. See, that's what he's doing. It's like I talk about blame shifting. This is a blame shifting narrative this guy puts
to
forward.
the house. She had house training issues because she wouldn't go outside. So she was peeing and pooping in the house. And the dog, Goose, was exhibiting signs of anxiety. And she was in a house with 11 other dogs.
Doesn't matter. Okay. This is a human problem. This is about through that connection at the social level, how that's resolved through, okay, what we're doing, okay, in terms of through that connection, what that represents, okay, to resolve it. Okay, it's all social.
So she would vocalize, she would make sounds like crying out, if you will. And she also said, oh, she'll hoard all the toys. And then I don't know what she's doing, but she's lunging at all the other dogs' faces. And I just don't know why she does that. So if my dog from day one didn't want to walk, didn't want to follow anybody, only didn't want to go outside, only wanted to run back to the house, and now I've got her to the point where I could take her anywhere and she will follow me.
Not based on the right connection. So he says it's follow, it's attachment. Because you have a dog holding an incredible amount of control, still follow. To understand, like it's about what's the context of that? Is following it based on you being perceived the right way, or following in a possessive way, but still, not in relationship, stressed out, holding a level of control. That's Grey Goose. Okay, so he doesn't even he can't even get the context here right.
But that's the
How are
key.
you
You
saying that
can't
that's
take her
not?
anywhere. You can't
Yes, I
take
can.
her everywhere. And this is
Yes,
the
I
part
can.
that I'll say is, this is what I'll say.
And how can you know? The test, okay, the relationship test, the back The other video I posted, him showing it right there. There it is.
The same thing I can say with stuff that I've been doing with mine, and why I was like, I want to know more. Things that I've been doing since I've been making videos about dogs on YouTube. My dogs have been substantially just better, way better. Not to the point where I'm like, man, this is just this perfect isn't the way, but just.
And we'll talk about this during the upcoming podcast I'm going to have with Mark Dubose. Like, it's like, again, the disclaimer I put out was like, I'm not in conversation with him behind the scenes. I'm not. He's his own person. But I want to ask about, because think of it, it's very interesting. Going from Dog Daddy to Robert Hines, going to, this quasi season approach there with Murdaugh, and then through this system. I talk about Dog Daddy, Power Play, right? The core ingredients are in there, but the right conversation. And this even goes to the thing with someone like Larry Crone talking about, we do go watch it's part of my member area option, okay? But again, even the member area option here's a good example. I talked to this on a video of my Rumble channel. You had, guy from IQ Dog Training, Ryan, took the talking about my course, going on about it didn't help them and all this stuff. Didn't reach out to me or nothing. But then someone else going through in the member area part, and everything's just changed around, because it's about going into it with the right attitude, going into it willing to make the trade-offs, just letting go. But I talk about the right conversation. Those core ingredients reconcile. It makes all the difference. It's not, so you talk about the Dog Daddy going over the journey, Hines, and then back to Murdaugh, cornbread, right? So, but it's not to pump myself up. Here's the thing. I don't, it's like, because it comes down to the individual. Okay. It's like, that's why I don't market myself and sell this system a certain way, because it is about the person. Like, you're the one that has to put it to the test, and you're the one that has to change. You're the one, okay? Not me. And I'm going to give you everything that I can give you to help you in that journey, but you have to be the one that sees it, okay? That's willing to take that step. I mean, that's just how it works. It's a journey.
Extremely stable. No matter what, if I even see that they get spooked, we could just recover from that instantly. That's what I've been seeking. And it seems like, yeah, you've gotten your dog into a much better place, but there's still this but in there. There's this little but. And
There's
that's
no but.
There's no but. There's a big but. I mean, go back. There's no way out. There's no way out.
For me, even watching your videos at first of like, holy crap, there's a guy walking his dog in the freaking woods right now. Something that I still don't think that anybody can do straight up at this day outside of,
exactly.
Robert, the only one that's made it.
So you've been all, and notice how his eyes get all big at certain moments. Look at this.
Perfect isn't the way, but just extremely stable. No matter what, if I even see that they get spooked, we could just recover from that instantly. That's what I've been seeking. And it seems like, yeah, you've gotten your dog into a much better place, but there's still this but in there. There's this little but. And
there's
that's
no but.
where for me, even watching your videos at first of like, holy crap, there's a guy walking his dog in the freaking woods right now. Something that I still don't think that anybody can do straight up at this day outside of, Robert,
exactly.
the only one that's made it.
Yeah, see the eyes. I mean, it's weird. You so put comment section what they think that is based on arrogance. But you talk about even this thing about the guy in the woods. You talk about dog off leash, still about control. Control, again, it's about the test. It's like lining it up. You saw what happened when the leash was attached, and influence and control, like being reconciled through, right, in terms of intent. Then you saw it. So anything that happens off leash, I don't care if it's a guy in the woods or whatever, that dog's off leash moving, that's not a true test of anything. Okay, in your emotion. Okay, understand that. I don't trust. There's only one way to tell, right? Then you can trust. That's the thing about putting things to the test.
Made a video like that, but no one has even done such a thing, because I just know my personal self. Woods is hard. Streets are easy. I don't care what anybody has to say on that. There's so much stuff out there. But since then, it's like you got her into a, say, better place, but still there's those like things that just kind of there's like
Because I said a better place based on what? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing you have to understand here. Yes, the core ingredients will come in at a certain level. So, there will be a level of change happening, but you tie this in terms of even, I call the 1 percentile dogs, but you look at the reaction. See, that's the way to tell. Okay. You look at the reaction to Grey Goose, in terms of that demand, and that's the way to tell the level of disagreeableness. That dog's locking in. That dog's like not moving forward. So then you start listening to all the things he's doing, going the other way. That dog's holding a level of stress. That dog is not in a good place. Okay, but that's the deceptive nature of appearances. It goes for any dog.
what's going on right now? That butt in there, that butt, like why is she freezing and not just wanting to instantly come to me? Why do I have to go and get her and go and pick her up and go put a leash on her and do something to go and convince her to be with me, as opposed to she just does
It's not about being with me. It has nothing to do with convincing her to be with me. See, have you not? I know you've listened to podcast by Brandon Boucher, right? You may have not heard me say the same thing, but the difference between a dog who has a healthy mindset towards the world it lives in and the dog who doesn't, right? A dog who recognizes the danger and a dog who doesn't. Those are the dogs where, you take them out into the world and they see the world as prey and they're the predator. But if a dog has gotten certain lessons from nature that it should get, that dog will now see themselves as prey and the world as predator. So now that dog has a healthy attitude and can spot danger because it's a matter of survival. If Goose was a stray and she spent time out as a stray by herself, then in order to survive, she had to know how to navigate the real world.
And so that's what he does too. So he takes this type of argument and he tries to package this up outside the parameters of his role. Okay, this thing about free will and choice. Dogs are social animals. Okay, so they're going to attach. Okay, connect at that level with other dogs, with people. Okay, at the social level. So when you hear, because he's heard it on some other videos here, he tries to package this. He's always about trying to package this up about she has to. This is how she. No, this is about him. Okay, understand how a dog's mind is governed. Okay, influenced and governed is directly aligns through that connection that way. It pivots. Okay, everything filters through that way. It supersedes. Okay, so this thing about instinctual behaviors, I did a video like a long time ago on that. It's like again the way out. Trainers always trying to find a escape clause, to their role, because again those core ingredients aren't aligned to what I'm saying. If they're not reconciled aligned, then this is what happens. The blame shifting, right? They try to really. That's what they do. They try to package this up to find a way out from underneath of it, and they'll do it several ways in terms of how they package it. Just pay attention to language and how they go about it.
So there are things she sees in the environment that are going to cause her to hesitate. She's going to assess things. And I have no problem with that.
There's no problem with that because it's not about his role the right way, right? Just saying, okay, I'll put it on her. Like this is just who she is. See, this is that whole thing with like trying to separate, right? Saying, okay, but that's the blame shifting. That's the failure to work through, right? That's he doesn't take that on. That's not part of his way, right? You see it through that leash when it ties a leash on. It's like he only goes so far, right? Just like an ideology, right? You're what based on your beliefs, right? Only go. That's it. So we'll start part 2 here. Very interesting conversation we go through here, but Dubose definitely puts him in a bind here, and he admits a whole bunch of stuff. And like we said, there's no way out.